All right, teacher friends and other YouTubers. Here's a video on ways that you could save money on school supplies over the summer. I know a lot of teachers are putting YouTube videos up there. I'm going to try to show some newer hacks and other methods in order to get what you need for your school rooms, all right? And also some of the tax breaks and tax efficiency things you could use with it. First, are you able to actually deduct your expenses? I've seen this question quite a bit where some teachers think that they used to be able to deduct on their taxes and now they can't. This is an article from June 30th, 2019. Again, all the video links will be on the show notes and the description below. As teachers and students head back to the classroom, many will dip into their own pockets. The U.S. Department of Education found 94% of school teachers bought supplies with their own money to $479 or more per year. As you'll see soon, $479 is more than you could actually deduct. There is an educator expense deduction that is still intact even after the new tax laws that went into effect. As long as you're a teacher, instructor, counselor, principal, or aide, work at a public or private elementary or secondary school, and work allow 400 hours of work, you'll be able to take this deduction. Now, the following educators unfortunately cannot qualify for the deduction: homeschoolers, educators in college, and preschool. I think preschool especially should be getting that, especially if they're taking money out of their own funds, but unfortunately it's not. How much can you deduct? You can deduct up to $250 in school-related expenses from your income. If you and your spouse are both teachers and you file jointly, you could each do $250 for $500. Now, make sure you keep all your receipts. The IRS never asked me to show all the receipts for my school supplies. 12 years teaching now. I just take the full $250. If you get audited and you have really, really complicated tax things, they might ask you for that. However, I will keep your receipts as my best advice as a normal layman. Here are the expenses I'll count: books, supplies, materials, obviously, it's the biggest one. Even professional development classes, if you're taking classes that you pay out of your own pocket. Computers, software, tech devices, and even athletic equipment if you're a coach or as a teacher. Before, you're able to deduct over and above $250 for uniforms, transportation costs, but unfortunately, this has no longer happened. All right. So $250 is not necessarily a lot of money for a lot of people. Most teachers spend almost double that. I personally try to spend near the $250 or lower, and if I'm going over it, I make sure I think of creative ways to not go over that limit, because I want to use the full deduction and not take a lot of money out of my own pocket. I do like teaching. I love my students, but I'm not going to spend a bunch of money that I don't necessarily need to on them. Right. Here's a website that I found that shows good times to actually buy certain items. You want to memorize the stock up prices before you shop, so you recognize the best deals. Here is a back-to-school stock-up list that you could look at. For 1-inch binders, you see it as $1 each. That's good. Color pencils, $1 a package. And you can see down the line. These are some good numbers to be aware of. If you get this price or cheaper, it's usually worth buying. My calculators from your local dollar store. If you're a first to fifth grade teacher, these calculators are perfectly fine for $1. For coupons, especially Bic pens, Kleenex, and Post-it notes. Sometimes these will go above and beyond what you actually get a deal on. For instance, in the coupon on the picture here, super sticky notes save $2 on $10 or more. So if you could get them on sale and get the $2 off, it's a double benefit. Coupons again, pencils, pens. Michaels or Joann's sometimes have markers and paint supplies a little bit cheaper, especially around now during the holidays. Character backpacks, holler.com is a little bit cheaper, but you got to get on that pretty soon because it does sometimes take a little while to get your actual items. You do save quite a bit from holler.com. Name brand backpacks, 6pm.com or eBags, lower price. Shop tax-free. The tax-free weekend could make a difference. In Texas, about 8% sales tax. So if you spend $100, you just save yourself $8. Target does have some $5 gift card deals. Be on the lookout for it. Rewards in drugstores could add up, especially if you shop there normally on prescriptions. Sunday and Monday are good days in general. The Sunday before school starts, though, is a bit tough. You might want to go on that Monday evening as well. One stop shopping, Walmart does have everything. Walmart is where we got most of our supplies. It's hard to beat the prices. Price matching could be helpful if you see other deals. Amazon app could do real time price checks. Go on Amazon, type in the name of the item, or even scan it like you see in this picture, and you could compare that to how much it actually is. And if you get it cheaper on Amazon, just get it on Amazon. Text or email coupons. There might be certain deals for certain department stores that might be worth it if you could find deals there. Target clearance. Those on Old Navy Friday mornings when they stock up. Thrift stores, sometimes even Craigslist could get used supplies. Discounted gift cards. Self-checkout, Ibotta.com. Sometimes they give you a little bit extra money after you check out. Ebates as well. Target app, JCPenney. Again, all pretty obvious things. This next site shows the best deal for everything. We comparison shopped so you don't have to. This will show different deals like pencils, paper towels, printer paper, pretty much anything you'll need. They'll have the link to where the best deal is currently. And this link has been updated. Something you can consider doing if you're going to go over the 250 is a GoFundMe. So you actually take, you give a description of what you want or need for the room, like calculators, computers, and so on. Start a GoFundMe, tell your friends about it and others, and they might be able to fund extra money that way, right? These are all different ideas that you could use in order to save money. One of the things that you should be doing is budgeting accordingly. If you know that you're getting a certain budget for school, like X amount of dollars, make sure that you get what you need in the beginning of the year. Don't overdo that part of the budget and work accordingly. I'll show you what I do throughout the year in terms of my budget. I get a pretty decent budget from my school, so I want to make sure that I buy as much as I can from that budget and not from out of pocket. So I'll show you some quick tricks that I do. I typically use Amazon for most of my goods because it's very easy to buy from. Our purchase orders are very simple. I just send a wish list to the finance department at our school, and then they're able to get what we need. Just keep a running tag. So if you know you have, say, $1,000 for the year, just make a simple Google Doc, show what you're starting with. Let's say you bought $200 before, then you'd be down to 800. So you spend another 100, spend that 700, and keep that running total so you know how much you have left. A lot of districts, if you don't spend all your money, it doesn't carry over from year to year. So if you're near the end of the year, obviously use the budget that you have and try to get close to that final dollar amount so you don't let money not pass on to the years after. Okay. A few little ideas is to go to different Facebook groups to determine what might be, cheaper in order to make certain crafts and supplies. There's plenty of other YouTubers out there that, especially kindergarten, first grade, younger teachers that are doing very creative things in order to make their classrooms. I'll do a future video. I'm actually going to be starting in the classroom in a week from now, and I'll show you some of the things that I'll be doing with my classroom that will be pretty economical. The last thing I want to mention is you do not want to spend a lot of your own money for your profession. I know if you think you really need this materials for your kids, do what you got to do. You have up to the $250 deduction anyway, so feel free to use that. But again, if you're over $250 and you also don't have money in your school budget, you need to figure out creative ways. I definitely don't mind teachers spending, thousands of dollars on school supplies. If they're doing it for the love of their job, that's great. But I personally do not want to go over the $250 plus my teacher budget limit because those are the money that's allotted to me. Use your resources effectively. A few other things I forgot to mention. Most of your schools might have a school supply list of things that you are requiring your students to have. Feel free in the Meet the Teacher nights to mention that these are required. There might be some optional things that you'd like to have. Some parents out there, hopefully they'll be more than willing to get the optional things as well. Feel free to nicely ask some teachers, some parents, if they could get multiple copies of certain things. Like, let's say you need 12 pencils per student. Not every student's parent will necessarily get those. So if you could nicely see any parents that are willing to, have them buy 24 pencils instead of 12. Or little things like that could go a long way. So my next video, I will be going over my dividends that I've received for this month and going over how I hopefully will get to that $100 a month in dividends that I'm working on.